If the Haros are lying about what happened to baby Emmanuel, my next guest has seen the red flags before. Tommy Pope was the lead prosecutor in Susan Smith's trial, the South Carolina woman who drowned her own 2 children in 1994 and blamed a carjacker. Tommy, it's nice to see you. You know, I actually interviewed you right before Susan's parole hearing in South Carolina, so it's kind of interesting. I'm outside the prison now for the Menendez parole hearing, but remember meeting you in your office that day. What is your take on this case, though, out of California? What stands out to you?
Well, I think, first of all, that, things not adding up, even outside, we as viewers can see that. For example, carjackers want cars. Carjackers want money. They maybe want a sexual assault. They don't take babies. So, 9 times out of 10, there's got to be some connection with the family or otherwise. That's the first thing. And if he assaulted her like he said, and when she came to, the baby was gone, it seems to me her purse would be gone, her car would be gone, her money would be gone. If someone's going to perpetrate that kind of crime, that would be the first thing that would step up. But, you were talking about law enforcement. They're in a difficult position because you have to do a dual investigation. You have to take what the family's given you, as the truth and seek that out. But that thing you can do is short sell them because something didn't add up and not follow every lead. So I'm sure law enforcement's following what the family has given them, but also following the obvious, which unfortunately looks like foul play on the part of the family.
So the mom, Rebecca Haro, she's actually been compared to Susan Smith. People say both were insincere in the TV pleas, that there's inconsistencies. Do you see any similarities there?
Again, we all react different. I can remember having victims on the stand that would be sexually assaulted, but they'd be nervous and kind of giggle. So I always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. With Susan, she enjoyed the media attention so much that it continued, and it was all fun for her until the media started questioning her. Now, in this circumstance, it seems like you've got kind of the same victim type attitude from the potential defendant, the mother, but, she shut it down pretty quick, shut it down with the cooperation of law enforcement. She's now speaking through an attorney. And most parents will tell you, if my child's missing, law enforcement can ask, polygraph, whatever they need of me and my spouse to find my child. And it doesn't feel like that's where they're at.
And cops wasted days, chasing down Susan's story. How do they decide whether to keep following what the parents are saying or go in a different direction, and when they think, something doesn't seem right here?
Sure, and it's a style. Investigators have different styles, but basically, ideally, you do a dual investigation, and that's what kind of happened in Smith. To law enforcement's credit, they kept her on cooperating, so to speak. They kept her involved. They kept following her up. Of course, poor David, the dad, who you probably met when you were covering the parole, he had the classic deer in the headlights, find my child at all costs. And he was willing to cooperate anything. There came a time Susan didn't want to go on TV anymore, and her family kind of forced her because like I said, the fun had gone out of it. So law enforcement was always running a dual investigation. That's kind of a, law enforcement 101 to look close, because most time with children, I know we have human trafficking, but most time with a child that age, you're really looking at a family situation. You may be a domestic situation or something of that nature. And, you're hopeful because those normally get found out and you recover the child. But the way this one's going, it does not sound promising for the return of the child.
Yeah, we're all hoping for the best. You're right, though. It doesn't look good. Tommy Pope, nice to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.